Today we're going to take a look at Kim Arashikage, better known as Jinx from the G.I. Joe Classified series. Now what's cool about Jinx here is that there are a plethora of accessories that go with this figure, and I'm wearing red in honor of the red ninja Jinx here. The Arashikage clan, of course, being a very, very important name within the world of G.I. Joe. Now's as good a time as any to get Jinx out of the box, talk a little bit more about the figure, and just see how well this stacks up against some of the other G.I. Joe Classified series. Now, as I take Jinx out of the box here, I am not an inbox collector by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of cool box art with this. Of course, we have the character art that's on the side of the figure now, and then we also have some of the product shots on the back. This is Jinx out of the box, still in her bubble. You want to take special care of the masked red face sculpt because there is a bandana that pokes out the back here, so if you rip that out too quickly, you might accidentally rip out the bandana. You don't want to be doing that. And there we have the very first face sculpt out of the packaging. We have the blindfold. This is a very delicate piece. Very flexible, which I think is going to come in handy for this piece. There's this awesome weapon right here. I have absolutely no idea what it's called, but it looks super cool, very ninja-like. And here we have Jinx's sword. This is some part reuse. I know exactly where the sword is from. This is from the movie Snake Eyes. At least the sheath is. I'm not quite sure about the blade. It does look like a same blade, yes. The other accessories are alternate hand sculpts. These are ones that can hold weapons, and now we have Jinx out of the packaging. This is a fantastic looking character. You have a great looking face sculpt. There are some additional details here. You have the arm sleeve tattoo, which isn't just black and white. There are, it looks like some cherry blossoms on there, so it kind of adds some extra detail. Let's take a look at the posability of this figure. Because this is a ninja, I'm going to be expecting this one to have added articulation, or maybe just a lot more full range articulation than I would expect from somebody like, I don't know, Roadblock or Heavy Duty, or like any of those like hulking characters. So here we have the double jointed elbows, and that is a fantastic range of motion. Look at that. There is some butterfly joints here at the shoulders, which don't give too much range. There's a little bit of wiggle, but not a whole lot. We have the up and down on the left hand, and then I'm guessing on the right hand we have the side to side. No, it's also an up and down. There isn't a T-cut here in the stomach area. It's kind of on a rocker, like a ball joint here. It goes back decently, I would say, but the front, it just feels like something's stuck there. It doesn't go forward all that well. Now onto the legs. Ooh, these move very well. This is about as far as the double jointed knee can take it. I think a lot of the reason of the limited mobility there is because of the way that the pants kind of situate themselves. The leg is just like that. This is a little more stiff. It definitely needs to be heated up. And then on the hinges of the ankles, we have your rockers up and down. That looks pretty good. You'll notice here with Jinx that the hands, the ones that come on the figure, are fists. So Jinx is ready to fight right out of the box. But I think what we need to do here is load up some of the accessories with Jinx, try out some of the options with the bandana, the alternate face sculpt, and see how that all comes together. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to get the alternate face sculpt on Jinx. Now, when I do remove the head, you can remove her necklace. It is possible, but it looks good with the character, so I'm going to keep it on there. This is a more classic Jinx look. I do like the unmasked version of Jinx's face sculpt, but this is a little more classic. This looks cool, and it also fits with some of the other ninjas. Because I have Kamakura unmasked, I think, on the shelf, I'm going to keep Jinx unmasked, but, I don't know. Looking at this, I might be second-guessing myself. Of course, what we're going to want to do is try on the blindfold. That is one of the trademark things that Jinx is all about. So let's slip it over the face sculpt, the masked face sculpt, and see what happens. It does fit really nicely, and you can see that there is kind of a double bandana situation happening here if you have it on the face sculpt. But this looks very, very Arashikage, very Snake Eyes-like, right? Like you can't see the eyes. It is a very mysterious, powerful ninja look. It does remove very nicely. I like the flexibility on this part specifically because it is going to be something that is put on and off the face. It's going to need a little bit of stretch, and here I feel like I have more than enough. Now, I should have done this first, but I wanted to try the bandana with just the normal unmasked face sculpt to see if there was any difference in getting this on. I'm guessing no, because we do have that stretch, and wouldn't you know, yes, that looks great. The problem I'm having is that I didn't line it up exactly right, so I'm going to have to try it again a second time because there is like a band of where this makes sense for the character, because the way that the bandana works is like the more it wraps around the head, the skinnier the bandana gets, and it doesn't really cover the eyes all that well. So here we go. This is how to do it right here. Here we have Jinx without the mask, the bandana, the blindfold on, and this does look a little more natural. And there you have it. There is Jinx ready to fight blindfolded, which, according to some G.I. Joe lore, wherever you look, it helps her fight better. Right now that we've tried the different face sculpts, the blindfold, we need to try some of the weapons here too. So let's slot in the sword in the back peg, and that fits really nicely, very snugly. It's a very simple look. It's not a complete backpack, which is okay for this figure. And to use that really cool ninja weapon, which I don't know the name of it, I'm going to have to remove the fists, and I'm going to have to slot in the hands that hold weapons. Now, if you're holding this ninja weapon here in one hand, it's going to slide down. It doesn't really hold all of that well with just one hand. You're going to want to have it with two hands so that you have much more stability with this weapon if you choose to use it. Now, the problem is if you don't choose to use it, you're going to have to store this somewhere. There aren't any other accessories that is going to help Jinx store these. But if we wanted to, we take one of the swords, we put it in her hand, and that does fit nicely. The grip of the sword does fill the open hand there. It's not too big, it's not too small, so you will be able to have a little bit more flexibility with the sword if you choose to use that. Left hand, right hand, or I suppose if you wanted to, you could also use it two-handed as well. I want to know from you, what type of G.I. Joe classified characters are your favorite? Are they the ninjas? Are they the commandos? Are they the characters that fit in between those spaces? Or are they the brand new, all new characters that we haven't seen before? Because there are a few of them in the classified series. So what do I think of the G.I. Joe classified character Jinx? Jinx is one of the more recognizable characters within G.I. Joe. The two face sculpts, the two hand options are great. I just wish there might have been a few more options with some ninja gear. We've just recently seen Quick Kick, we've seen Nunchuck. They came loaded with like a bunch of stuff. We have a template for ninja accessories that I think work well. Maybe one of those claw things that came with Nunchuck. Maybe it's one of those nunchucks that came with like a bunch of figures. Quick Kick Nunchuck also had those. Or maybe even one of those throwing star hands that Storm Shadow has. It doesn't have to be as fancy as the one Quick Kick had, but I think there could have just been one or two added accessories to make Jinx just that much better of a value. Jinx feels a little light, even though it is a high-quality character. The posability, the movement in the upper part of the arms is great. The butterfly joints in the shoulders could have had a little more range. We're looking at a ninja-style character. We want to have those dramatic movements when we're posing it. And also the torso too just feels a little limited. The back is a little better than the front crunch, but it's just one of those problems that I think needs to be kind of ironed out a little more. That strikes the balance between stability as well as range of movement. It feels a little limited, and then the legs do have a solid range of motion, but I wouldn't say it's the best of the ninjas so far. But I'm so glad that Jinx doesn't have high heels, has some ninja-style flat shoes, which just makes posing, makes balance that much easier. But that's if we're looking specifically at features. If we're looking at artistry, and if we're looking at completeness and likeness, I think Jinx is one of the winners here. The G.I. Joe Classified series is known for a lot of great face sculpts, a lot of great details on the characters and things like that. Jinx continues that tradition, which we can't always be sure of because there have been ones that just haven't lived up to, well, the par that the G.I. Joe Classified series has set for itself. Jinx doesn't have that issue. In fact, this is one of the characters that you would want to put towards the front of your display because it just looks that nice, it looks that detailed, and continuing on the tradition of the G.I. Joe Classified series, it takes a character that we all know very well, modernizes it in the areas that make sense, and keeps the classic features that make the character recognizable. It's a nice problem to have when you're not quite sure which face sculpt you want to display the character with, because oftentimes, well, there's only one option. But if you look at some of the options, like Clutch from the Vamp, his head sculpt makes him a generic character, where Jinx, either face sculpt option makes Jinx Jinx, which in my book is a great feature to have. So I feel like it's almost time to separate out some of my G.I. Joe collection between some of the commandos and some of the ninjas, because we're getting to that critical mass where things are starting to grow and grow and grow, where we have definite teams. Is Jinx one to get? If you are a ninja collector, absolutely. If you're one of the more mainline, commando-focused G.I. Joe collectors, Jinx is probably one that you could leave on the shelf. So that's everything that I know about Jinx, and I'm wearing red in honor of this review. And if you like action figures, if you like blasters, if you like collectibles, toys, cool things that move, you definitely owe it to follow this channel. Hit that subscribe button, whatever it takes to get new videos, because I can't stop and I won't stop. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.